Hey everybody! Whenever you're first starting out gardening, it can be really overwhelming. So I wanted to put together this list of 10 different plants that are great for beginners to start off with. So the first plant that I have on the list is radish, and you're gonna see this everywhere in beginner gardening plants lists because it is super simple to grow and it is really fast as well. You can have a really good harvest of radish within a month typically. So it's great to have success whenever you're a beginner gardener. So this is one that's super simple to grow and it gives you a fast reward as well. Leaf lettuce is another super simple one to germinate outdoors, indoors, wherever you want to grow it. It's super simple to grow. It grows pretty fast and you can start harvesting whenever they're really young and small too. And it's something that everybody eats. Everybody knows how to eat it. So it's a fantastic addition to any beginner gardener. Kale is another terrific addition to any beginner garden because it is super simple to grow. It does really well during winter time. And it's pretty hardy, heavy duty. It can withstand a lot. So kale is definitely one that I always recommend for beginners to grow. Broccoli is another really great addition to your garden because it's really simple to grow. It's really rewarding because everybody knows exactly what it is. So it's really fun to grow and it's fairly simple to get a really good harvest of broccoli. I typically recommend starting with the broccolini varieties, which have like the smaller sprouts on the side instead of just the head broccoli, which takes a little bit longer to develop. So you'll have a harvest earlier if you go with the smaller sprouting broccolis or the broccolini varieties. So those are the ones I typically recommend for beginners to start with. Peas are another great addition. I absolutely love growing peas. They're really fun, taste amazing fresh off the vine. I absolutely love them. And they're really easy to germinate. They grow really well in the cool temperatures. The only thing that is a little bit more difficult about peas is that it does need some sort of structure to grow on most of the time. There are some dwarf varieties that you can get away with not having much, but you need some sort of support trellis system for peas. But once you have that in place, one simple pea plant will give you a huge harvest and you will have a ton of peas just from one plant. So peas are super rewarding to grow and a great beginner plant because you'll have a lot of success with them. Mint is a fantastic addition too, super fun to grow, and it grows really, really great. And so much so, in fact, it's important to keep your mint in containers or else it can take over. It grows really well, spreads great. It's really fun to smell. It smells really good. It helps really with a lot of pests that you might be having in your garden. So it helps to protect a lot of your vegetables around. And also you can use it in your drinks or anything like that. It's super refreshing, especially in the summer, to add to some water. So it's great. So definitely mint is a great beginner plant. Cherry tomatoes are fantastic to grow because they can give you a great harvest too. And growing these smaller types of tomatoes are a lot easier than growing the larger ones, just because you have less time on the vine, less time to worry about pests attacking or if there's any weather issues or anything like that. So having cherry tomatoes is a lot more simple to grow than the larger tomatoes. And you always recommend for beginners, especially, to start with cherry tomatoes whenever you're growing. And of course, I had to include a flower in here. So zinnias are probably one of my favorite flowers of all times. They are absolutely beautiful. I love having them in my garden. I have all sorts of different varieties and colors. They're great. And one of the great things about them is you can throw out seeds and they just come up. They're amazing. And year after year, they will, once they drop off seeds, they'll come back the next year too. So a lot of the times they'll come back without you even planting them again. They're that easy to grow. So zinnias are definitely a great flower for beginners to start with. You get a lot of benefits and rewards, and it's just so beautiful. Herbs in general are typically pretty easy to grow, but I wanted to call out basil in particular because it is one that's really easy to grow from seed, and it is an amazing companion plant for tomatoes, especially peppers, things like that. It does really well in the garden, and in the heat, it performs fantastic, and it can give you a really good harvest. You can continue to go through and cut off leaves, use them in your cooking, and it continues to regrow during the warm time. So it's a great addition to any garden. And last but certainly not least, I do want to mention peppers because especially the hot peppers or banana peppers, those ones I've found are just a little bit more easy to grow than bell peppers. But all in all, pretty much peppers are very easy to grow in the summer, especially where we live. We're in zone 7 here, and we get a lot of heat here, and the peppers love heat. They perform really well and continue to give us great harvest, even through the summertime. So that is something that you can get one plant, get a whole bunch of peppers. You have a great reward from just one plant of peppers. So it's something I typically recommend too for beginners. And if you don't already have our From Seed to Spoon app, make sure you download it. It's gonna help walk you through growing over 100 different fruits, vegetables, herbs, including all of these beginner-friendly plants that I talked about today, plus a whole bunch more. And it'll give you exact planting dates based on your location. It'll help walk you through if you have any pest issues, companion planting, everything you can imagine you'll find in there. So it can be super helpful especially if you are just getting started out. So make sure you download that and check it out. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. It was great hanging out. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Talk to y'all later.